After the French debate, there were scrums that happened afterwards. We are hearing from the Debate Commission that the scrums tonight have been canceled. So Karina Roman has some more details for us about what we know about this change of plans.
Yes, Adrienne, we just heard from the head of the commission, the debates commission, Michel Cormier. He just came into the media room. This is where all the media is, watching the debate and then filing their stories. He just stood at the mic at the front of the room. Everyone ran over to hear the official confirmation of what we had already been told for planning purposes, which is that the scrums with the leaders are canceled. The reason that they gave officially at the microphone was that they didn't feel that they could provide or guarantee a proper environment for the scrums. And this obviously comes on the heels of some unusual scrums last night and a situation last night that I know we've been reporting on, but also tension in the room and confrontations that were happening between journalists. And so once that started unraveling, we started to get word that this was what was going to happen. And of course, there was a scrambling to find out if it was true or not. We did get confirmation, but now we actually got official confirmation from the head of the commission that the scrums are canceled.
So, Karina, do you know what happens now at this point? I mean, will there be an attempt by some parties to have scrums somewhere? What's the plan?
That has not been confirmed, but obviously we've reached out to all the parties and are hearing word that some are interested in still doing some kind of scrum that in a different location, perhaps not all together individually. And certainly if that goes ahead, different journalists would dispatch to those scrums, but we don't have confirmation of that. It's a fairly just last minute decision. I should tell you, Adrienne, that when we were trying to confirm the rumors, we were obviously reaching out to parties. Some of the parties seemed to have heard the rumors and some hadn't. So in some ways, we were telling them what was going on. So they now have to scramble and see, can they find a location and figure that all out at this late hour. And so we need to figure out, and they need to figure out whether that can happen logistically. But if it does, for sure, journalists will go and ask questions and bring that to our viewers when we can.
So, Karina, just one last thought, just because people at home may be wondering, why are people still there then? I presume people are just filing their stories and hoping somebody else is going to go to a microphone.
I don't know how much hope there is, to be honest. I think people feel like they're pretty certain that that's not going to happen. Although there was an altercation between journalists at the microphone earlier. There certainly was one earlier at one of these media tables. And before that, there was another one, because there is a lot of frustration with these scrums being canceled, that cuts off access to journalists who want to ask questions on behalf of Canadians about what we saw in the debate, about points that were raised by the leaders. And now that isn't going to be able to happen, or at least not easily and not here. And so there is some blame being thrown around about whose fault that is to have created the situation and this tension that led to this situation. But yes, people still have stories to file in, whether they're digital or radio or television. And so people haven't made an exodus yet, even if there are no scrums to be held here tonight.
I hear that. Lots of work to do. All right, Karina Roman from inside the Maison de Radio-Canada here in Montreal. Thank you. All right, so let's get back to the substance of what we did here.
Well, can I just pick up on Karina if I can?
Yeah, absolutely.
There are, just so people understand, there are a series of police officers stationed behind us to make sure that we remain safe and that the media get out safely. They were not altercations between journalists inside the media room, and there was no altercation between journalists that happened on David's set. These were right-wing people that publish their own agenda and websites who confronted journalists inside the media center, who confronted David on his set, who directly and personally confronted me inside the media center. These are people that the commission decided to accredit, and that is where we are now. The situation deteriorated quickly. in terms of how those people were behaving inside a professional media center where you were supposed to be doing your job. And that has left us with no scrums and a strange security situation on a night where we should be focused on the things that you want to ask us about.
It certainly didn't look like this
Just
last
one
night.
point on that. We are inside a secure perimeter. You have to go through screening processes that involve the RCMP. This set we are on, they came in with bomb-sniffing dogs, searched our bags to make sure everything was safe. That's to make sure the leaders are safe and everybody in here is safe. And for whatever reason, the way this evolved throughout the day and yesterday, the Montreal police are here putting up caution tape, escorting people out. And the leaders of Canada's 4 parties who were able to participate in this debate, because they, what was the phrase? Didn't feel they could provide or guarantee a proper environment. They're not going to take questions from journalists. And look, I know not everybody thinks it's all about us, but it is an important part of the ritual of elections and democracies and accountability. And it is part of the stress test that these leaders go through as they seek to lead this country, and spend your tax revenue and make laws, and some serious things being discussed there tonight about criminal justice and using the notwithstanding clause. These are all things that require a serious and mature debate, not financially motivated stunts. And this is where we've ended up in this election. With everything going on with Donald Trump and everything going on in this economy and everything going on in the world, this is where the national Canadian election debate has ended up. And it's just exhausting. And it is the end product of multiple years of rage farming for narrow political gain and financial benefit for a very small group of people who blew this up today.
And Canadians, as a result, don't get one more rare opportunity to hear the leaders answer questions.